Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's a boy King 053, Mr. Easy Money, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I wanted to answer the Q&A session that President Ramaphosa has been having at Parliament. Specifically, I want to touch on the Section 25, where they're speaking about land expropriation without compensation. Correct me if I'm wrong or right. I don't know if it's my ignorance of what is happening in Parliament or what is happening in the ANC, but I thought the current Land Act that we have currently speaks about expropriating without compensation. I did not think it's a bill that must still be passed. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I thought the government is not taking land because they don't know how to take it, where to take it, and from who to take it. But the act itself, the bill itself, is already it's already passed, meaning it has went to the Constitution Court and everything is fine. Only to come and realize that currently we are still dealing with an act of 1980 something that still says that you must expropriate land but with compensation. Jacob Zuma in 2015 was the one who started this thing of land expropriation without compensation. Jacob Zuma was explaining it nicely at the courts that you took something that is not yours. So when we take it back, why must we pay you? I'm not sure if you guys get me. So let's hear from the president himself. What is he saying about where are they in the process of this bill of land expropriation without compensation, Section 25? Let's just hear. Let's bring the receipts, guys.
Honorable members, the expropriation bill is currently in the National Council of Provinces. My constitutional obligation in terms of Section 79 of the Constitution is to satisfy myself of the constitutionality of a bill before I assent to it.
So you hear that the Land Expropriation Bill is currently sitting with the National Council of Provinces. Now, if you're not a political person, you would not even know what that means. But let me tell you what is the National Council of Provinces. The National Council of Provinces is one of the two houses in Parliament that is constitutionally mandated to ensure that the provincial interests are taken in account in a national sphere of government. So they are there to make sure that their province is represented properly at the national sphere of government. So it's a second house at the one of the two houses in Parliament. You understand what I'm saying? And this is done through participation in a national legislation process and by providing a national forum for consideration of issues affecting provinces. Okay, so the land thing does affect provinces. The National Council of Provinces consists of 55 members, of which, if you look at them, they are spread throughout the parties. The IFP will only have one member representing the whole IFP. The FF Plus will have 2 members. The EFF has got 9 members. And the DA has got 13, with the ANC holding 29. So the ANC's got almost the majority there. They only need 3 or 4 votes of people like EFF voting with them, and that's it, or the IFP or whatever, because they've got 29 out of 54. So they've got the majority. They've got the majority already. They don't need anyone to vote with them. They can just change the act. You understand? So let's just check, because the president said something very interesting for me. about what they will be looking when the bill finally comes to his table. Let's just hear what the president says he will be checking for.
In section 25, how the land was acquired, what it is used, what it was used for, and all that the use that it will be put to in the future, and so forth, could also result in nil compensation.
Now, South Africa is nice, eh? Now, when that bill comes to the president, he'll be checking how the land was required or inquired or acquired, sorry, what it is being used for, and what it will be the future use of that land. That's where I have the problem. If I take your car, I go use it. Let's call it a taxi. If I take your taxi and I go use it, I'm transporting people. And all of a sudden, these people I'm transporting, we're calling them people of the population. So the population is benefiting because I'm using this taxi to transport them. When you come and you want your taxi back, I should not question what are you going to use your taxi for. Let's go back to land. If you take my land, and let's not go ask stupid question like how the land was acquired. It was acquired by murder, mass murder, killing, raping, hanging of people, imprisoning of people, black people, all over South Africa, all over Africa. That's how land was stolen and taken by fire, by force from us. The president in parliament was telling a story how he was moved and his mother was moved from their place of birth to Soweto. You get moved by force. So let's not try to dilly-dally against that issue of how the land was taken. It was taken in a criminal way, criminal act, dehumanizing act. And it's funny, when white people were taking the land, no one was judging their morals. No one was looking at how the economy is going to be. No one was checking if this is right or wrong. Now, when we want to take the land back, we have to check the international standards. You understand what I'm saying? We have to check what are the other countries going to say. We can't just take this land. What are investors going to do? Because guys, let me tell you something. You're not getting any land. You're not getting any land back. Why am I saying so? The courts, the constitution courts run this country. And wherever, because about Judge Zondo, I'm going to do a video about Judge Zondo. This Judge Zondo, I'm going to do a video. It's just he's lucky when they were doing state capture. I was not very active on my channel. I was busy doing other nonsense. But now, Judge Zondo, the first thing he did when he got into his position as the Chief Justice, he released the guy that killed Chris Hani. The first thing he did. Mogoeng was saying, no, Papa. No. You have showed no remorse. You have not changed. In prison, you have stabbed the picture of Mandela. You don't care about the Rainbow Nation. You're not going anywhere. Sits there. The first thing Judge Zondo does when he gets there, releases him. Huh? So the Constitution Court runs the country. Why am I saying that? Listen to what the president said, because he just said he wants to satisfy himself. After he reads it, he wants to satisfy himself that it reaches the requirements of the Constitution Court. Excuse me. Let's just hear the last thing that he said. What is going to happen when the bill comes to him?
And then when it comes, as president, I will look at it And if it requires that, it should be tested, yes, in the Constitutional Court, it will be so. If it requires that it should be returned to the House, it will be so. So this process, Honorable Groenewald, is transparent. It's a process that has been inclusive, and I do believe that investors take a great deal of courage in looking at the way that we deal with matters that are as sensitive as this. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
I think
You hear my point now. That's the point I'm making. The Constitution Court is running the country. And those are people we did not vote for. Now, the people we vote for are going to sit down. National Council of Provinces going to sit down, discuss this bill, and discuss how it impacts and affects their provinces. Then, after drafting this bill, take it to the president. President gets it and reads it, and he says, "Jesus, I don't know. I think I must send it to the Constitution Court so they see if when we expropriate in this manner, is it constitutionally right?" The Constitution Court will obviously protect the white monopoly capitalists, the investors, because now they don't call them the murderers anymore. They were murdering us in apartheid days. But today they are investors because they placed themselves strategically on the minerals of this country, beautiful minerals of this country, and the agricultural sector. So they're going to say, no, we can't close that farm. That farm is injecting this amount of millions per year in our GDP. Agriculture is doing this in our GDP. You know, the mines are doing this much in the GDP. We can't just close the farm and give it to people. These people are going to mess up everything, man. Go back to the analogy of the taxi. If you take back your taxi, I have no question, no right to question you what you're going to use it for. He says he will check, and if it needs to be tested, he will take it back to the Constitution. If the Constitution Court makes a recommendation for amendments, then it will be sent back to the House. Then it's going to be discussed again. When do you think that will happen? We're talking about 2030 here. You are not getting any land back black. You are not getting any land back black South African, indigenous people of the land. You're getting nothing. I promise you. That is what is happening. It's your boy, King 053. Let's meet on the comment section. Tell me what you think. Please consider subscribing. I'm making this video cut and paste in the only channel that brings you receipts and point out the facts. Please subscribe, like, so that other people can see this video also. It's your boy King 053. Until the next time.